Hey guys, I'm Josie, if you don't already know, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you don't already, remember to subscribe down below, give me a thumbs up on any videos you're enjoying, and also follow me on my various social media, which I will link down below. So, it is only a matter of days before we get to see the MotoGP bikes back on track in Sepang, so I decided to have a quick look through my personal opinion, who I think will be the top 3 for this year, and also my 3 that I am looking forward to seeing what they can do. If you haven't already seen, Honda currently have 3 injured riders, that is 3 out of the 4 riders that they have. I will link my video on that down below so you can have a watch, so I'm not just repeating myself. But anyway, we'll just crack on, launch straight into it and stop beating around the bush. First up, I'm going to start with who I think is going to be world champion, and I'm not going to lie to you, unless there's some catastrophic disaster, I'm pretty sure that it's going to be title number 8 for Marc Marquez. He's obviously nursing the injury that he sustained what seems to be forever ago, that dislocated shoulder. He has had surgery on it, so he's not going to be full fitness for the start of the year, or at least for testing, so we're not going to get we're not going to be able to see fully what he can do on the bike at such an early stage, but it's Marc. I honestly think that unless something goes horribly, horribly wrong, he's gonna be back on top. I don't know what he's gonna do for number 8, because I was like, level 7's pretty cool, and then I was like, is there anything particularly for number 8? What's he gonna do? Oh my god, he could come out in an octopus costume. That'd be so cool. He's not gonna do that because that'd be so humiliating, but that would be amazing. But I had a quick look back through last year when he claimed his 7th title. 9 wins, 4 seconds, 1 third, 7 poles, and he had 2 DNFs. I mean, it's a pretty good record to have. And I'm really looking forward to, if he does get this 8th championship, what is he going to do? What is this celebration going to be? Because personally, I'm now rooting, now I've put it in my own head, I am now rooting for the octopus costume. Because I can't think of anything else that's relating to 8. It's now stuck in my head, Marc Marquez and octopus costume. Try and get that out of my head, that is so strange. But Marc gave us a lot last year, he gave us a lot of interesting things. I mean, the celebration itself was completely and utterly extreme and extra. It was just ridiculous and it was amazing, and I think a lot of people are going to think about it for the rest of their lives. I will when I'm randomly playing a video game and get to level 7. But between that, Redding dislocating his shoulder on, just when he was saying congratulations, has got to be up there as one of the best things / most hilarious. But also that Misano qualifying crash where he sprinted back and got back to his second bike and back out in 6 minutes. It's mad. Slightly concerning that he had gravel in his eyes during that time, but it's Marc. I mean, he does as he pleases. So I have Marc pitted once again for the top spot, so that'll be another year of Marc in a tux at the award ceremony. Probably going to carry on for years to come. Next up, I have Dovi. So I do have a slight soft spot for Andrea Dovizioso. I pretty much think that the top 3 are going to be the same as the top 3 this year. Last year. It's 2019, isn't it? Last year. So I think Dovi will be, once again, like 2018 and 2017, he is going to be second. Dovi did have a fairly decent year, but nothing spectacular. I mean, he was very lucky in the fact that Lorenzo had this injury and ended up not being able to compete for 3-4 races. He was very lucky in that respect, because I think that Lorenzo would have been up there fighting Marc for number 1 spot right until the end. But Dovi started off the year really, really strong. He had that win in Qatar. He also then went on to collect another 3 wins, including in Valencia when he seemed to be one of the only ones that didn't crash. He also collected 3 second places and 2 third places, as well as 2 poles. So it was a fairly good year for Andrea, but he did also have those 3 DNFs to accompany that, and that huge crash with Pedrosa and Lorenzo. And I don't know if anyone has seen this or how many of you have seen this. So I got sent this by my boyfriend on the MotoGP Instagram page. They'd put a picture of the Jerez crash, and someone had commented saying that Marc would have crashed even if Lorenzo and Dovi hadn't been involved. And it was literally in the picture a giant 26. And I haven't been a MotoGP fan for very long, but even I know that Marc's 93. And I was looking at it thinking, like, what? But then Marc had actually commented back saying, like, what? Like, I crashed? It was quite amusing, and it really does boggle my mind that some people obviously just go out of their way to do this. But yeah, he had that horrendous crash in Jerez where Pedrosa pretty much became the Red Bull symbol and grew wings and just flew. And cemented the hard feelings between, or the animosity between Lorenzo and Dovi. It was just something else last year. So Dovi is my number 2. In number 3, I have Valentino Rossi, a bit like this year. Rossi was obviously 3rd in the championship in 2018. Apparently I can't get the year right, even though it's February. I mean last year, obviously. 2018 was last year. Rossi had quite a hard year. So this year he's going to be 40 in literally like a week or 2. Which is just crazy to think that he's still racing. But last year I think it's got to be one of his worst performances in the MotoGP class. He had no victories, he only had 1 second place and he had 4 thirds. He had 1 pole, and you've got to say, like, it's kind of heartbreaking because Rossi's one of the greats. But it was kind of hard to watch. He still managed, the fact that he is 39 and he still managed to get to that point where he's still up there fighting with the rest of them and fighting with the youngsters. I'm saying this, Dovi's also like in his 30s, so whatever. But, it's really quite impressive to be at that point, at that age, and just still delivering such a good, not your best, but such a good performance that you can get into 3rd in the championship and be on the podium, be getting pole positions, be raking in the points. It's amazing. But I'm hoping that Rossi can give Marc a bit more of a fight this year, and even Lorenzo and even Dovi. Like, I'm really hoping for this because there's such the fights are just so intense and so interesting that it will be brilliant to see that again. Like, kind of what we saw bits of it in 2017, but not much. And then there was that incident in Argentina. We don't want that again, but who knows? So Rossi is currently occupying my 3rd place spot, and who I think was going to be where, that may change during the year. We'll see. We'll see how the others do, and we'll see who adapts to their bikes, and we'll also see what testing kind of throws up. Who knows? So we'll move on to my 3 to watch for the year. So I have Jorge Lorenzo, Pekka Bagnaia, and Fabio Quartararo. This is no offence to anyone else involved, like anyone else, any other racers, the likes of Oliveira, Hafi, Cyrene, and, well, anyone else. It's got no offence to them. But these are my... And Petrucci. Forgot Petrucci. Sorry, Petrucci. There's no offence to them. It's not a case of I'm not looking forward to seeing what you can do on your new bikes or in your new class. It's just... These are the... Like, Bagnaia is Moto2 world champion. Quartararo has only had a handful of podiums in Moto2, and Lorenzo's just on a new bike, another manufacturer, another bike. I mean, but anyway, let's crack on. We'll start with Jorge Lorenzo. Lorenzo was 9th in the championship last year, unfortunately, but that was predominantly due to that injury to his ankle, and then also that one to his wrist. So I personally think that he could have been far, far higher up if he hadn't had that, and he had to have to sit out, but we shall see. So he's moving from obviously Ducati to Honda. Already they seem to have a better relationship than, well, Marc and Jorge seem to have a better relationship than Jorge and Andrea did. So we're already starting on a good solid foundation. I don't know how long this may last. It may look like a solid foundation, but it might actually just be made out of sand and water. We shall see. It could crumble at any time. But yeah, Jorge had quite a good year to start with. He had 3 wins, 1 second, he had 4 poles. Obviously one of the poles that he couldn't do anything about. He couldn't manage to get it into a victory or anything because it was Silverstone and it was cancelled. If you don't already know this, the Silverstone was cancelled last year. I don't think anyone's ever spoken about it within the last couple of months. It's just gone and forgotten. Unfortunately, he did have 3 DNFs as well, and he had that injury to his foot in Aragon after he crashed with Marc. And then also he had that crash in Thailand during free practice. It's snowing again. Why is it snowing again? Oh my god, it's actually sideways. Anyway, he had that crash with he had that crash with Marc in Aragon, and then obviously tried to come back for Thailand and had that crash in free practice where he was left with an injured wrist, and he decided just to pull out, not do Thailand, not do Japan, and not do Australia and Malaysia. Oh, for some reason I had that down as 3 races, but it's actually 4. He is currently nursing another injury on his wrist, so he won't be taking part in testing. It will actually be Stefan Bradl. But that means that we're just getting kind of, I feel like it's a bit more anticipation, building up that hype to get to Qatar and actually see him on the bike, see what he can do. He looked pretty keen. Well, he looked pretty keen obviously because it was a new bike, but he looked pretty comfortable on the Honda when I saw him at testing. So it'd be nice to see, and it's gonna be the same livery, so yay. We'll come back to that in a later video when everyone's released theirs. But you know, why mix it up why mess with perfection? Next up is Pekka Bagnaia, the current reigning Moto2 world champion. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Pecco can do, because not just is it a completely new machine, I mean it's more powerful, it's bigger, but he's also being partners with Jack Miller, who is a pretty feisty rider himself. But if you look back on Pecco's 2018 season, I nearly said career there, and I was a bit like, what is that's not the right word, season, you'll see that he just flew. He really did just fly. He had 8 wins during the season, 1 second and 3 thirds, including the 3rd place that claimed him the victory in Malaysia. He fought tooth and nail against Oliveira throughout the season to get this title. So it'll be interesting to see if it's another battle between those two on track, or if he's going to find another sparring partner, because I think it's just, you do seem to find some of them will just carry on these little battles that they've had with everyone, like with certain people through every class, but we shall see. I'm really looking forward to it. I really love it when they bring someone from the lower classes up. I find it so exciting. Because I'm a nerd. Sorry. Last but not least is Fabio Quartararo. I am so torn with Fabio. Not because I've just hit myself in the face, sorry. Not because I don't like him. I really do like Fabio. I think he's such a character and I think he's a really good rider. But I don't know if it's the pressure of him coming into racing as the next Valentino Rossi that really just completely knocked him out of form through this. But he was 10th last year, 10th in the championship. And you've got the likes of like Baldassari, who seemed to be performing better, and like who are still there, still in Moto2, but whatever. He did get that amazing win that came out of absolutely nowhere. So he got that 1 win, 1 second. He also got 1 pole position, and 7 top 10s. Yeah, I'm a bit mixed with Fabio. I'm really looking forward to it, but I do also partially think, like, are they doing this too early? Should they have let him learn a bit more? But then it's how many years can you keep someone learning in Moto2 before you have to decide that they either pull the socks up and when they've been chucked in at the deep end, or that's it, you just let them go. But we'll see. We shall see. Either way, I'm really looking forward to it, so roll on Sepang. I will have another video for you soon enough. I obviously still got Moto2 and Moto3 to go through. Also, I'm waiting for the liveries to be released, so I may do an additional video in the middle of that. And I am going to try and do a F1 one. I was going to do an F2 and F3, but I don't have Scooby-Doo who's racing where and what. I don't know who's doing what this year. I mean, it seems to be very it's either very late or just not very well publicised. I don't know. But for now, remember to subscribe down below, give me a thumbs up, and also follow me on my various social media. I will learn to speak at some point. Thank you for watching. Remember to leave me a nice little comment down below if there are any videos that you want to see or anything really. But for now, bye.